In the words of the famous song, it's only a game, sport. I can't tell you if that's an actual song or not, but what the hell. Ever since the early 1990s, Chris has entered a number of contests. Chris places great weight, let alone his own, on his success and failure with regard to promotional contests. He becomes elated and sees victory as an indication of his own greatness when he wins. Yet he becomes enraged and lashes out at the winners when he eventually loses. Not all the time, but let's get to it, shall we? The Sonic the Hedgehog Watch and Win Sweepstakes was a contest held in 1993 to promote the syndicated adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. The contest's grand prize, a 1000 KB toy shopping spree, was awarded to 2 lucky winners, one of whom happened to be Chris. This is one of the defining moments of young Chris's life, being the first of many contests that Chris has entered over the years. And to be honest, we can watch like the promotion. It's such an iconic piece of information, and well, just take a look for yourselves, guys. Once I can get the display, there we go. Let's do it proper.
We've got a little more for you, including what Sonic the Hedgehog means to a very special Charlottesville boy, and the significance goes way beyond a high score in videos.
Not more snow and ice.
Finally tonight, Sonic the Hedgehog is running wildly in the Chandler household this weekend. 12-year-old Christian Chandler of Charlottesville was the winner in a video game shopping spree. Christian is one of only about 100 winners nationally to receive $1,000 worth of Sega games and equipment.
Exactly. I mean, again, I'm going to put this into a perspective. If you think
only about 100 winners nationally to receive
video games is nothing.
$1,000.
Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Back in 1993, Sonic Spin would set you back $50 US. I know that says $49.99, but why not at this point? $50 for Sonic Spin. Like, wow, I can't tell if they were fleecing Americans or whether or not, that's... I mean, some people, roll their eyes at the price of AAA releases nowadays, but... Really? $50 for Sonic Spin, of all things?
Worth of Sega games and equipment. For his parents, it's just another example of how well he's doing. Christian is a high-functioning autistic child. This past fall, on his own initiative, he entered a contest based on a favorite cartoon character.
What I had to do was exactly watch Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon, and I'd listen to what Sonic says at the end of it, and write it down for a whole week, and then I had to mail it in, and it has to be drawn out of a hat, and I just won.
And Christian's father says it only...
And it should also be noted, ladies and gentlemen, before we go, is that that's the same video game store in which we saw a young Chris. That's the same store that Chris would eventually get banned in when he went, "Don't call anybody," and then pepper sprays an employee. I'm not kidding. That was the same store in Charlottesville's Fashion Square. The Pokemon Books a Million contest. On the 29th of April 2000, a Pokemon-themed costume contest was held at Books a Million. Chris, who used to come regularly to the store wearing an Ash Ketchum costume, or looking somebody who probably ate Ash Ketchum and then stole his clothes, won the first prize, a cool t-shirt. He talked about the contest in A Week with Christian Chandler. A cool t-shirt. I mean... They couldn't even give Chris any books. A t-shirt was the next best thing they had. Really? Harvey Birdman commercial. In February of 2005, Cartoon Network held a contest inviting viewers to make a commercial for the Harvey Birdman Attorney at Law Volume 1 DVD set. Wow, that was a mouthful. Chris did not win the contest or even place in the top 5. This inspired him to post a complaint on the Adult Swim forums. And I suppose, well, oh boy, do you think we should go see what they are? Well, let's see if we can actually, oh, more, okay, oh, this is just Adult Swim. I didn't realize there would be this much of an article about this, and, wait, Moral Oral? When has Moral Oral ever been, mentioned in this? I mean, I've just finished watching the whole of Moral Oral. That show was... fascinating to say that. I love the show, but it's an incredible... I think maybe it's more fascinating than... Well, it's a lot of things, to be honest, and you will get me to see me talk about this at some point in the future. But Chris stated in the mailbag that he watched the show and said it was okay. Really? He thought it was just okay. That's it. So hang on, there wasn't anything at all about the attorney at law. Right. Okay. Never mind. Oh yeah. Hang on. Oh. I remember. Okay, it was for this one. What would you do for a PS3 contest? In November of 2006, Chris entered Adult Swim's So What Would You Do for a PS3 contest. In his entry video, Chris says he'd throw away the cure for autism if he had it. Newsflash, Chris, there is no cure and there never will be a cure. Sorry, pal. If he had it, he would trade in his PS2 and he would make a PS3 out of pixel blocks and shows off his pixelated PS3. This meant Chris did not win a PS3, but then again, Chris can join the very long queue of people who, well, say ridiculous things for the sake of a handheld Sony console. I know the best thing I could offer for this is don't give money to Sony. Yeah, that's my advice. Parappa the Rapper contest. Oh, okay, here we go. Right, anyway, so, yes. In June of 2007, Chris entered the Parappa the Rapper contest, which required contestants to film themselves performing an a cappella version of either Chop Chop Master Onion's rap, Instructor Mussolini's rap, or Cheap the Cooking Chicken's rap. Okay. The grand prize winner of the contest would receive 2 PSPs and an all-expenses-paid trip to Seattle for the 2007 Penny Arcade Expo. And the winner gets what exactly? Chris hoped that he would win, so that he could bestow one of the PSPs to his beloved Megan and invite her to accompany him on the trip, thereby creating an opportunity for her to give in to her obvious passion for him. There wasn't. Chris's video made it into the top 10, from which the winner was to be selected from a vote by PlayStation Underground members in July of 2007. Despite a campaign on the part of Chris, the competition was won by one Adam Stackhouse, whom Chris bears a grudge against, as he felt Adam broke the rules by having music and multiple people in his entry. Chris loathed the second and third place winners for having music as well. In actuality, the beatboxing of Adam's video counts as a cappella. Furthermore, another top 10 finalist claimed that he had removed his own music to avoid breaking the rules, but Sony said it was fine. Relentless vote stuffing did earn Chris a reward, however. The rules state that finalists would get their submissions published on PlayStation.com and will receive a copy of the game Parappa the Rapper for the PSP, or the PlayStation Portable if you haven't caught on yet, and some Parappa branded premium items such as a PSP skin, PSP charm, and a Parappa signature beanie worth $60 for a beanie? Really? And you're telling me Chris wanted to win this? Yeah. I suppose it's not the longest article in the world, so I suppose we may as well see what Chris thought counted as winning top first place. So you have been warned, I guess.
AP Station. My name is Christian Chandler. I live in Bucksville, Virginia. I have a PSP. I like the rap. I play with the rapper. I go with you now. The only song I know is Master Onion, which I got from a demo I borrowed from my friend Megan. I have the PSP and she don't. So give me the PSP and rap the rapper so I can give one to her. And then we can play it together. So here we go. We're gonna sing it now. Master Onion a la mode. Kick, punch, it's all in the mind. If you want to test me, I'm sure you'll find that you all things that I teach you sure to beat ya. Over Everest and ask you to listen to the teacher now. Kick, kick, punch, punch, chop, chop, block, block. Once more, kick, kick, punch, punch, chop, chop, and block, block.
I agree,
The got the airfield.
Embarrassing.
We gotta move down. Let's see, jockey. No. Duck. Duck. Yup. Yup. Turn. Turn. And pose. Pose. Now listen carefully. Jump. Jump. Pose. Pose. Duck. Duck. And turn. Yeah, I see you're getting better. Kick it to the limit in order to get the turn now. Kick, punch. Kick, punch. Chop, block. Chop, block. Chop, kick. Chop, kick. Punch, block. Punch, block. I'm gonna get harder now. Duck and jump. Duck and jump. Turn and pose. Turn and pose. Duck and turn. Duck and turn.
Right,
We're gonna make a jump.
I've had enough of this. I'm not watching this anymore. Sorry, guys. I can't do it. It's too embarrassing. So yeah, it's funny how Chris literally was banging on about, not having music, music being in the background. This is despite the fact that Chris, well, for all the world, it looked as though Chris had some sort of music in the background as well. Unfortunately, it seemed to be like the forced starting of a paddle steamer that hadn't been used since 1924 in the background. But I'm assuming we can just sort of ignore that for now, I guess. Chris made it to the top 10 with this, by the way, and apparently won a beanie for his troubles. Yeah. Radio station contests. Chris created Lil Chris at the Create a Critter workshop after winning a gift certificate from a radio station sometime in his early 20s. In May 2010, Chris won 4 tickets to an extreme action sports show from a radio calling contest. As he could not find anyone else to go with him, even after he called the members of his church's young adult social group, he was forced to scalp the tickets in front of the stadium and then sit alone in the bleachers beside a lovely-dovey couple. This even prompted the Greene County conspiracy video, a video in which Chris believed that there was some sort of conspiracy by the county to force him to move out of Manchester and go all the way back to Richmond. Or something like that. I think it's more Ruckersville he was forced to go back to. GameStop contests. Chris entered the GameStop Be a Star sweepstakes in October 2008. The competition required entrants to send in a photograph of themselves in a Guitar Hero pose for the chance to win a $400 GameStop gift certificate. Several trolls caught sight of Chris's entry and, mistakenly believing that the person with the most votes would star in the Guitar Hero game, encouraged people to vote for Chris. Due to this, Chris went on to win the competition. Don't exactly know what the trolls were that doesn't really seem like a troll plan, really. That seems more like, come on, let's just give Chris a hand here or something like that. In August 2010, Chris won another GameStop gift card, this time for $50 through participation in a blood drive. Not entirely sure what you would want from Chris's blood, considering that it's about 85% cholesterol, but we'll look at that elsewhere. The Dog Days of Summer photo contest. On August 1st, 2012, trolls discovered the existence of Clover and Snoopy. Chris decided to take pictures of them and post his photos on the internet in an attempt to gain votes for a contest. In the description he writes, "Snoopy has a hat on his tush and Clover is looking at the camera." The Beagles were given positive comments, and one person even asked if the dog breeder so they could have one. However, Chris did not win the contest. Yeah, Paddy Chan has been betrayed, I agree. Skylanders Creator Contest. On the 17th of November 2016, Chris entered a Skylanders contest. The prize is a 3D print of a custom figurine. Chris would use it to 3D print his own Christine Chandler avatar. Which, I know it may not be the best looking thing in the world, but I suppose I'd say, I don't know, I don't play Skylanders, but it looks okay, I guess. I don't really know why Chris is holding a plug, but to each his own, I guess. There will be a grand total of 100 winners, 20 winners for each entry period, and each winner received one code redeemable for a 3D printed model of the created character included in the entry. Unfortunately for him, he failed to follow the guidelines set by the contest. According to the rules, the entries will be judged on 30% diversity of parts comprising character, 30% uniqueness, and 40% creativity of accompanying catchphrase. Chris neglected to post the catchphrase with his character. He did not even enter the right category. The Twitter page where he submitted stated that the week's entries were for magic-type characters. However, he entered a light type, missing the contest for that type by several days from the contest page. Whoops. Chris lost this specifically by not being able to read. He tried again a few days later, minutes before the contest deadline, providing a catchphrase and entering under the right category. There you are. Meanwhile, the best of C-ville 2017. A yearly poll conducted by C-ville Weekly, a Charlottesville, VA publication. The poll for 2017 was conducted in 2 stages. One where people could submit their own entries to the poll, and a second where finalists would be chosen by staff for another round of public voting. In May 2017, Chris was added to the poll under the Best Local Minor Celebrity category. He took to Facebook to announce it and asked his fans to vote for him. Not a good idea. Once it was discovered that anyone viewing the poll could add entries and that people could vote multiple times by clearing cookies or opening a private browser session, shenanigans ensued, with joke entries based on Chris getting stuffed into the poll. Chris took the lead for a time. However, the joke entries quickly grew out of control, and Chris tried to run damage control, saying to not add my name or any other similar versions of under any other category. I am not a place or event, and I have not been on television recently. Ultimately, the C-ville Weekly staff took notice and deleted the Chris references from the poll. Annoyed, Chris complained on Facebook, posting, "I did not make the finals. Thanks a lot for overvoting me out, you trolling stupids." Chris holding his own contest. Yes, this was a thing for a while. On the 29th of January 2024, Chris posted on Twitter announcing his own contest for artists and fanfic authors, with his own set of rules and submission guidelines. Winners were promised a Sonichu medallion and a set of autographed print Sonichu comics, issue 0 to 3. Yes, somehow, despite all of this, Chris somehow felt himself important enough to hold a contest in which, I mean, to be honest, 2024 has proved one thing, that Chris's ego, even after being in the clink, even after years of this and losing friends after friends after friends, after colleagues, Chris learned not a single goddamn thing. I guess you could say he lost a lot more than just a contest. But with all that being said and done, I'm wondering whether or not there's any sort of like big message or there's like a big lesson to be learned from this. There isn't. No, to be honest, no, there isn't. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I can't wait to see all of you guys again in the next video. So take care, and bye-bye for now.